And even as we make progress in the fight against the fraudsters, we now see an organized group of political actors seeking to take advantage of a crisis. A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for everyone, from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies to local and county government, the buck does stop with me. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race. But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year.
Okay, so Tim Walz has just dropped out of the governor's race in Minnesota.
Lord, so you dudes are doing the gargoyle? Y'all are doing the gargoyle alert, y'all.
Minnesota over the Somali fraud scandal. Tim Walz is obviously the current governor of Minnesota, who's actually very well liked by the people in the state currently. His biggest claim to fame is being the running mate of Kamala Harris in the 2024 election.
Wait, being the VP candidate was his biggest claim to fame, but everybody loves him in Minnesota? For what?
Which he obviously lost. And after that, he kind of just came back to his home state and continued to govern there. But recently, there's been a huge scandal with the Somali population that's been following him, leading him to drop out now. To make an incredibly long story short, the current president of the United States is very xenophobic. He does not want new immigrants in this nation, especially from countries where people have darker skin. The president on several occasions has tweeted out explicitly racist things about the Somali population specifically. And the biggest population of Somalis in America is in the state of Minnesota. So in an effort to justify the president's racist tweets, a lot of Republicans have been bending over backwards to look into the Somali population in Minnesota, and they uncovered that a lot of them are taking advantage of the welfare system there. Specifically, they look.
Oh, so if listen, if what Donald Trump said, if you consider it racism, then it's racism. Okay, fine, whatever, right? Not whatever, like whatever, but let that lie for a second. So then you go and you go look into it for whatever your reasons are, and you find that there's fraud, but you still got to make sure that you jump back here to say, but he's racist because all he do is talk about Somali people. Child, he talk about everybody. I got to be honest with you. He do talk about everybody. That's not me. That's not me defending him. That's not me defending him. I'm just saying it's like if somebody does something and it turns into this, they're still going to make sure they go back to this. Does that make sense? You're finding out that there is freaking fraud and now finding out that it's everywhere for the most part. But make sure you say over here it's Donald Trump's fault and then bypass, not necessarily this dude on screen, but bypass the fact that Timmy is in charge. It's his state. It's his responsibility. Just like in Mississippi, I forget who they said the governor was. That's right. It's his responsibility. That's his state. That's what it's supposed to be. In any of these other states. Because, child, they need to check into Massachusetts where Michelle Wu is. Because I promise you, there's some issues going on there. All these bleeding hearts, child. This is what No Child Left Behind gets you. And everybody gets a participation trophy gets you. People want shit all the damn time. Then they expect anybody that's above them or in politics to give them shit. Those people think they have to give it in order to get elected and to get shit out of, or to get them to come and vote for them. So you come up with all this crap. People take advantage of it because there's fraud in everything, like I said yesterday. But to this degree, there's like no checks and balances in place, y'all. That's the bottom line. It appears that there's no checks and balances in place, or these officials, these political people were participating and helping. It's only those two things. That's all it can be. That's all it can be.
We got to talk about a few things with Tim Walz dropping out of his reelection bid for governor of Minnesota. I know he's saying that it's because he can't dedicate enough time to being governor with the attacks by MAGA. I think that you and we all know what kind of person he is. He's compassionate. He has empathy. He's got to think about his family. You've got Trump supporters that are driving by his house, hurling the R word like they are completely insane.
Hell, what is the R word but redact? What the hell is the R word?
Insane
what the hell is
and very dangerous. No insult to people who really are insane. You've got a state where MAGA has already unalived politicians. And sorry, I have to use that word. It's TikTok. He's got to think
MAGA people. Okay, MAGA people unalive somebody in Minnesota, y'all. Is that what happened?
about these things. But I want everybody to know what Tim Walz really did. He fell on the sword.
Oh,
You see, every single Republican that's going to be running for governor is going to be part of this bigger movement to take down and take over every blue state. Every blue state like Minnesota, whose economic output is some of the highest, whose standard of living is some of the highest, whose education is some of the highest, standard of living some of the highest, and Republicans want to take every.
how is it a high standard of living when there's so many people that are on benefits? Girl, what are we talking? Does no one? Are we the only ones listening? Are we the only ones listening? He just opened up 20 weeks just because that the state taxpayers got to pay for. Just because. Get a job. Well, look who it is. Shout out to EJ. You see, I got your shirt on, boo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're awesome.
For those that didn't see, it's gooch soup. But Tim Walz, screw you though. He said people come to Minnesota to retire. They giving away everything. There's so many people on benefits. There's so many people affected. They talking about billions lost. Like I said, it's either somebody there is helping them or there's the checks and balances are not in place. It's only one of those two things. There's someone in government helping them with all this fraud or their checks and balances suck. That is totally on Minnesota people. Ilyan, Tim Tom, Jeffrey Fry, or whatever the hell his name is, all of those people. They can blame whoever they want to. That's your state. That's your responsibility. Child, this is crazy.
Happy Circle Back Day to all who were forced to celebrate today, i.e. return to work after the long holiday. A special shout out to Governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, who used today, Circle Back Day, to say, F this ish, I'm out. Y'all got it. Tim Walz is not running for re-election for a third term as the governor of Minnesota. This is likely all tied to this fraud stuff and this big narrative pushed by Republicans online. This came out the last few weeks. First time I actually heard about it was Dr. Amber over here. I follow Dr. Amber. They live in Minnesota. They were talking about what this race is going to look like, and they said this will be about fraud. So I'm watching that video. I said, or that live. And then the next day, boom, boom, boom. All these videos about fraud with the daycares, fraud with the Somali immigrant population in Minnesota, all these different things.
Well, it started out with daycare. Now it's fraud with the Medicaid, and it's fraud with this. It's fraud with that. Fraud is here. Fraud is there. Fraud is every daggone where. And yeah, all of them need to be taken down, just like the people with the PPP loans, which they not done with that. Because I seen somebody say this is old news. It don't matter if it's old news. It's still going on. That's the problem. So people are still stealing and people are still acting like they're not doing anything wrong. Just like they're still finding people from 2020 with regard to the PPP loans. So they should all just go, forget all about it. Let them go, child. Let them go. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay. Yeah, some of y'all really are stupid with a capital STUPID.
It honestly wasn't true. So once the people said it wasn't true, I said, okay, I really did not pay a lot of attention to it. Then again, because I like listening to local content creators, Dr. Amber got on here and said, Tim gonna have to step down.
Physically. We do not care